Hello everybody, this is Chef Velander Hendricks speaking today. I'm going to be talking about making gingerbread cookies. Basic equipment you're going to need is a good mixer. This is a KitchenAid. This is a wand attachment. This is a whisk attachment. We're going to be using the whisk. And we're going to, with that whisk, before I go to that, we're going to have, we got measuring cups. You're going to need a half a cup, a full cup, third cup, and a quarter cup, a good spatula, and then some tablespoon, teaspoon measurers. You can get these at Aldi, well, not Aldi's, but you can get these at Dollar Store, Dollar General, or Walmart. You know, inexpensive. Don't buy it. Don't go broke. And then you can get this also, something like this at either Walmart or Aldi's. Again, you can probably find these measuring cups, something similar, at a good dollar store, whatever. So you don't have to spend $1,000, and they'll last you for a lifetime pretty much. So you get your money out of it. And the KitchenAid, of course, costs a little bit more, but you're gonna need a good mixer. I don't know if it's a Sunbeam mixer, any kind of mixer that you can cream butter with. And then I always like to use a timer, and because that way I don't have to worry about keeping up with the clock or whatever. And this is how this recipe goes. Okay, we got our basic equipment. We know what we got to use to do everything. Now your ingredients are going to be all-purpose flour, ground ginger, ground allspice, ground cinnamon, ground cloves, baking soda, salt, black pepper, granulated white sugar, light brown sugar, and then you're going to need unsalted butter. Then you're going to use eggs. Now that, I'll talk to you more about the eggs later. And then you got to find some molasses. You can generally find some molasses at Walmart again, or you can find it at Aldi's. You know, don't go broke. Make it. It's an inexpensive recipe. It makes a lot of cookies, so you really come out ahead. Okay, this is how this goes. Okay, we're gonna take, if you got like a 4-cup measuring cup, you can put all these dry ingredients in it. You can just use a bowl that'll hold 4 cups of something. But this is how it goes: 2 1/3 cups of all-purpose flour. Now you want to level the flour. Everything's going to be at level. You want to level the flour. Then you're going to have 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, a half a teaspoon of ground allspice, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then you can put a pinch of black pepper, just a pinch now, not heavy pinch, not unless you like black pepper taste. A pinch would be just perfect. Now you're gonna mix that up with a fork or something inside that bowl or whatever. Just mix it lightly. You ain't gotta mix it a long time, a couple of seconds. Just mix it where it's mixed nicely. And then put it to the side. And then you're gonna have a half a cup of sugar. You're gonna put it in the mixing bowl. Right here. And you're gonna take a half a cup of packed light brown sugar, put it in the mixing bowl also. Now, butter. Now, if you like a whole lot of buttery taste, you're gonna put 2 sticks of room temperature softened butter inside of here. I normally put it in there cold because it's easier to handle. Now let it get room temperature. I give it about 2 hours to 2.5 hours. That's enough time to get it room temperature. It's as if you're not in the freezer. And but me, I don't like all that oil. I don't like all that oil. So I cut it down a half a stick. So I will put a stick and a half of butter in mine because I don't want all that oil. You don't really need all of it. Now, if you just love that oil and you just want that buttery taste, then put that other half a cup in there. So basically we're talking about either 2 sticks or 1 stick and a half. Your choice. Now eggs. This recipe, if you want really crispy, crunchy cookies, you put 1 egg in here. But if you want a moist ginger cookie, you put 2 large eggs in here. And then you put 1/3 cup of molasses in here. And then you blend it. I like to use this whisk or some type of blender where you can blend everything together. And I would generally give it about 15 to 20 minutes because I want it to be light and I want it to be fluffy. So about after 15 to 20 minutes, you're going to have a nice texture. Then you're going to add that flour mix, the dry mixes. That's what it's called, dry mix, with the flour and all that other seasonings, all the other spices. You're going to add that. Once you mixed it for 20 minutes, you turn off the mixer machine and then add the dry mix in, and then turn the mixer back on. And you want to blend it. Start it out at low, so you don't have a flour flying all over the place. And then as it incorporates, you can bring the speed up to in this KitchenAid, you can bring it up to 5 or 6, just to incorporate everything. And then once it's incorporated, turn it off. You don't need a whole lot of time to do that. You want to beat it as less as possible, but you want to get it mixed up thoroughly as quick as possible. You want to thoroughly get it mixed. Now you're going to have your spatula, and you're going to scrape everything down, mix it a little bit with the spatula, and then you're going to transfer whatever you got in here into another container, any container, anything that holds 2 quarts or whatever. 2-quart container will handle it. And then you're going to scrape everything out of here and put it in that container. You're going to if you got a lid for that container, that's perfect. If not, get some saran wrap or something to cover it, an airtight cover, and put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. And then after you put it in the refrigerator for an hour, you bring it out. You start making little bitty balls. And you can use a teaspoon, or you can use a little miniature ice cream scoop, whichever's easy for you. A teaspoon works pretty good. Just a little bit teaspoon. Try to get the same consistent size. Put it in the palm of your hand, roll it a little bit, and then put it on your cookie sheet. My cookie sheet holds 12. Your cookie sheet might hold 6. Whatever size your cookie sheet, because you want to space them. You don't want to have them too close together. They're going to spread just a little bit, not much, but they will spread. And then you're going to bake it at 350 degrees. And you're going to do that for about 15 to 14 minutes. You look at it. If it's not crispy or dark enough or whatever, you can give it a couple more minutes, but not too many more. And then you bring it out of the oven. Now, ovens are strange. If your oven's not calibrated, that means if the temperature's not exactly what the gauge says on the stove. So if you put the gauge at 350, but if you put a temperature or a thermostat in there, and it might tell you what the real temperature is. So you have to play with the temperature to try to get it around 350. Make sure it's 350 or better. Because some of them say 350, but it'd be 325. And then mess up your recipe. So you want to make sure the temperature is what it said it is supposed to be, 350. Get a thermostat, an oven thermostat. You get them at any store. They got them anywhere you want to go. They probably got them at Dollar General. Most likely, surely got them at Walmart, or they got it at Target, or any place. Inexpensive thermostat. They don't cost that much. They cost like $2 or $3. And you put it in your oven, you get the accurate temperature, and you get a really good turnout as far as your baking products are concerned. So that's basically how they go. Now, I'm going to read the directions on this thing, even though I just got to telling you everything. Now, I noticed on most devices, you got a thing called pause or replay. So if I'm moving too fast and you need to understand step by step what I'm talking about, just put it on pause, understand what I'm saying, then release the pause, understand what I'm doing, do it step by step by step by step. And that way you can keep up, and you can look at it as many times as you want. You can replay it, whatever. And that way you get the recipe correct. Now, this is how the instructions should be. I'm reading it from the page here. Using an electric mixer, beat a half a cup of granulated sugar, brown sugar, and butter until light and fluffy. 3 to 5 minutes. This thing says 3 to 5 minutes. I told you 15 to 20. Scraping down the sides of the bowl as necessary. Add the eggs and beat for 20 seconds. Then scrape down the side of the bowl. Add the molasses. Mix well and scrape down the side of the bowl. Again. Add the dry ingredients. Then mix on low speed until just incorporated. Do not overmix. The dough will be very soft. Refrigerate it for about 1 hour until firm enough to roll. Set rack in the middle of the oven and preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I talked to you about that already. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Parchment paper is fantastic. You're talking about not having no mess to clean up. Tell you, it'll save you. So get yourself some parchment paper. You can get that at the Dollar General for $1. And they are pretty, inexpensive, and you got a lot of it, so you can use a lot of that. And then place the remaining. Okay, now it's talking about if you want to top it off with granulated sugar, you can put like a quarter cup of sugar to the side in a separate bowl, and you can just drop the little dough that you formed in a roll. You can drop it in the sugar, and then you can just flatten it. You can flatten it with your fingers, or I like to use the bottom of a nice size glass that has a flat bottom, and I just kind of like press it, and I can see how far it's expanding, and just I just press it like that. That's what I do, because to me it's easier. But then if it sticks or whatever, then you just gently with this thing, just gently pull it off. Pull it off. Don't let that discourage you. And then let's see what else this thing says. Okay. All right. Form the dough into 1-inch balls and roll in the sugar to coat. Place the balls on the prepared baking sheet about 2 inches apart. They will spread. Then flatten slightly with your fingers. Bake for 10 to 14 minutes. I said 14 to 15. Until set and golden on the outside and slightly soft on the inside. As they bake, they will puff up and then flatten. Do not remove them from the oven until they are flat. Let the cookies cool on the baking sheet for a few minutes. Then transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. Now you refrigerate the dough between batches. In other words, you basically you prepare what you're gonna eat. You don't have to do the whole thing because it's a lot of them. You make about 48, maybe 50 some cookies. So you make the amount that you're gonna eat. Cover the dough back up. Put it back in the refrigerator. Leave it there. And then when you want to make some fresh cookies, you take and do the same thing again on the sheets, roll them in, put them in the sugar and all that, and then you make the amount of cookies you want to eat at the time you want to eat them, nice and fresh, baked fresh, anytime you feel like it, and it'll take care of you and a few people. Okay, and then what else I got down here? Okay, what else? I lost my spot. Okay, let the cookies cool, then transfer them to the line. The cookies will keep. Okay, it says once you bake the cookies will keep for several days in an airtight container. You want to put an airtight container. You don't want to have no container where it's all airy. It's going to dry your cookie out. Your cookie is going to be really super dry. So you don't want to dry your cookie. I normally put mine in just plain old Ziploc bag. Some people can't seem to close Ziploc bags. The ones where you pinch and you go like that. I get the ones that got the tabs on it. And the tab, you guarantee it's going to close. But you try to get as much of that air out of there before you put that last seal in there. And because that way you make like a little small vacuum where all the air is basically taken out. And then you do that last little portion where you click it. And then that keeps it nice and fresh. I mean, really fresh. And it keeps all those spices and everything in there. Okay, now it's freezer friendly instructions. The cookie dough can be frozen for up to 3 months. Uh, Scoop the dough into balls, let set on a baking sheet in the freezer, then place in a sealable bag and press out as much air as possible. Bake as needed directly from the freezer. Allow 1 to 2 minutes longer in the oven if it's frozen. To freeze after baking, let the cookies cool completely and store in an airtight container, separating layers with parchment paper, or I would never use aluminum foil. Aluminum foil is a disaster. It's the aluminum foil comes off in your cookie. You don't want that. So either you get some wax paper or you get some parchment paper. That's the only choices you really have. And then before serving, remove the cookies from the container and let them come to room temperature. Then it's got nutritional information. Now, the people who into the nutrition and they want to know about the nutrition, it talks about it. Okay, serving size is 1 cookie. Calories is 119. Fat is 5 grams. Saturated fat is 3 grams. Carbohydrates is 17 grams. Sugar is 11 grams. Fiber is 0. Protein is 1 gram. That's basically because of the egg. And if you put 2 eggs in there, you can increase that protein up a little bit. Sodium is exactly 75 milligrams. That's 1 cookie now. And then cholesterol is 19 milligrams. And if you really try to watch your cholesterol, you really want to cut back on that butter. So that half a stick of butter will help you. That 1.5 stick of butter will help you there. Now, if you do the whole 2 sticks, now you're talking 19 milligrams of cholesterol. And I read the sodium the wrong way. Sodium is 75 milligrams. And that's just 1 cookie. That's a serving. And you can eat a lot of these cookies because they're very, very delicious. I think I baked some earlier just to bake some before I got started on this. I'm going to get up for a second and go get what I did. I think I might have overbaked them a little bit, so don't do it. Don't overbake your cookie. I'm just show you what they look like. Let me get up and get this done. Okay, I'm back, everybody. I don't want to be gone too long. These are basically the cookies. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to try to show it to you. These are the basic cookies. I cook mine a little bit darker brown because I like the crispiness. And you don't have to do it like mine. You can make yours a little bit lighter if you want to. But those are the basic cookies right there. So I think I done covered this. And don't remember on your device, you got a thing called pause and you got a thing called replay. So you just go over what I just got through talking about until you fully understand it. And then you start making your ginger cookies. And as you make them, you're gonna get real good at it. And people are gonna love you for it, especially if you got some friends, family, children. They're gonna love you. And they're gonna be begging you, please make some ginger cookies. Please make some ginger cookies. I mean, like I tell you, I'm a chef. I'm retired now. I'm just wearing one of my uniforms I used to wear all the time because I want you to know I'm professional. I'm not playing games. And but people still, even though I'm retired, they call me and they say, "Would you make me this? Would you make me that?" And they don't be asking for small amounts either. You know, they be asking for a nice sizable amount. So I put it together for them. I sell it to them. I mean, I'm not working for free now. Okay, nobody can. This stuff costs money, and so I give them a fair price, and I make them what they like, and they just keep calling me, and I keep making them. They call me, I make them again. So I've been doing it for a lot of years. So, and they love my stuff. Everybody loves my products, and also I know how to cook as well too. So, and then I make certain like barbecue, roast, you name prime rib. I know how to make puff pastry. Like Danishes, all types of things. I used to work with a company called Panera, and they had a pretty good menu. I used to make the products there. But the thing of it is, I made the product so good that I couldn't keep up with the demand. I mean, my menu kept doubling. I mean, when they had like a small menu I started out with, next thing you know, it was doubled. Then next thing I know, it was tripled. I tried to get additional bakers to work with me. I couldn't get it done. So I had to basically had to let it go because, you can only do so much. But people love that product. And then I meet a few customers every once in a while, and they be saying, wow, I really miss your pastries. I say, well, that's all I can do. And I give them my phone number. I give them my information. I say, if you want any particular product that you miss, let me know. I'll make it for you. And that's what I get some customers. I got like a customer base that stays with me all the time. Well, I think I'm finished here. I think I covered everything I can cover in the amount of time that I got. I try to do this as fast as possible because I know this generally takes about 40 to 45 minutes, from preparation and everything. And then when you put it in the refrigerator for an hour, and then you bring it out, then you start working it and put it on the cookie sheets the way you want to. Like I say, my sheet right here holds 12. Your cookie sheet might hold less. And I think this is it. I'm going to turn this thing off. Holy shit.